Hello, what is going on? So, good news is I've not forgot about any of you. Obviously, it's been a few weeks since my show. I had this little idea for this video, so we've put it together for you today, because I've had a lot of people asking me like what my next steps are, how I'm feeling post-show, what am I up to, what's my routine like. So I had this idea to do kind of like an aftermath episode, basically to let you know where I'm up to, what my next steps are, what my thoughts are, how I'm feeling. And also we've asked a few good questions on Instagram as well, that we'll be answering in a little bit when we go for a walk around the park. So to be honest with you, it's been such a weird experience post-show. It's been a lot more difficult than I actually thought it was going to be. Not difficult, different kind of difficulty to prep, because obviously during prep it was like I was really struggling. I was struggling to do my steps, I was struggling to just get by, I was struggling to survive during prep, but getting back to normality has been the great difficulty for me in the last couple of weeks, obviously, because normality is something that I didn't have for like 11 weeks, so you don't just immediately transition from the extreme state I was in back to normality. There's got to be some level of process there. Now, this is my first time going through that process. I've got to be honest, I've done it not completely wrong, I've not, because I've done it quite well. I've rebounded quite well in comparison to how other people have rebounded in the past. But the first week I really struggled. So obviously emotionally, mentally, physically I'm in a much better space, but the week afterwards I was still pretty emotionally soft. I was still struggling in places, mentally still wasn't like up to scratch and stuff, but it was more physically how I was feeling that I really struggled with in the week that was the week after the show, pretty much because the food I wasn't used to, like the lack of routine I wasn't used to, so it was very difficult. But the food side of things, obviously, as soon as the show ended, in typical fashion, as anyone who's finished the diet, I got home at like a load of Dominoes, sweets, things like that, as you do to treat yourself. It's been a long time that I've been dieting. But then for the week after that, it was like struggling with like indigestion, my stomach was killing all the time, constantly had heartburn, couldn't stomach any food. What's weird is, because it's like two different things, your brain's telling you that you're hungry, but your stomach's telling you that, like, mate, you need to stop eating. So it's like a proper catch-22, because you're feeling hungry, but at the same time you're not, if that makes any sense. So the last couple of weeks I've just been trying to get back to normality, and to be honest, I'm in a healthy, happy position now. As you can probably tell, I'm talking a lot better, I seem a lot more responsive, a lot more human than I was the last time you seen me. So yeah, it's still keeping up with routine, still in at like 10k steps per day, because the way I look at it, especially like a business side of things as well, is if I can keep all of that up during prep when I've got like nothing, then I have zero excuses to not keep it up whilst I've actually got calories to burn. I've got a much better routine that I established through prep. I may as well keep that going and not so much just completely change it, but tweak it so it fits business more and things like that, and my clients more. So I've stayed on top of everything, I've just made some simple tweaks. So a big question I've been getting asked as of late, you letting me go, I'm going anyway. Big question I've been getting asked as of late is, what are my next steps? Am I competing again? What's my next show? I'm going to be completely honest, I've not even thought about it, and I'm not going to think about it. The best way for me to describe this, listen, prep is horrendous, right? It's so hard because you're making yourself unhealthy, mentally, physically, you're putting yourself through a lot to get into that condition. My business coach said it correctly. He was basically saying, to get to your level of condition, you have to suffer. That word suffer holds so much weight about how you actually feel, because you suffer throughout the whole thing. Not just you, but like your family. Like my girlfriend suffered, she's seen it all, she hated seeing me like that. So if I turn around to you now and said, oh, do you know that horrendous experience you went through 3 weeks ago? When do you next want to go through it again? You'd be like, no time soon, no thank you. So that's kind of like where my head is at the moment. It's all pretty recent. I went through a hell of a lot, made myself unhealthy, because people don't realise how unhealthy you are when you're on stage. It's not a healthy thing, you can't sustain it. It's to look good for a few minutes while you're on stage. So it's not something that I'm going to look at doing anytime soon. Do I want to do it again? Yeah, I think so. There's a chance I might never do it again. It's something that I've ticked off, but again, it's not a fair question for me to answer at the moment. But if I do, obviously we started kind of putting the steps in place now of if I am going to compete, because obviously if we decide midway through next year, it's too late. I've missed like a whole off season and stuff. So started putting stuff in place now, done a bit of a maintenance phase for the next 8 weeks just to get me back to normal, get things healthy again, like mentally, in terms of like my digestion and stuff I just spoke about earlier on, just get everything back to normal and get everything ticking. Then the plan is to just get as big as possible, get a lot more lean stage weight, because one thing I realised when I competed was just how much better I could have been if I took my off season but seriously. I said that in the last episode. I didn't take it anywhere near as serious as I took prep. So if I just stay regimented, if I stay in routine and just eat 6 meals a day like I'm supposed to and progressively overload the way I'm supposed to, I can bring like a completely different package which is going to be better in all aspects next year. So we've started to put the things in place. Listen, next month I'll probably turn around like, yeah, can't wait to compete again, but at the moment, it's not something I want to think about. We're in November, it's a festive period, it's time for me to enjoy time with like me friends, family, my girlfriend. So the next couple of months is literally just operation, recharge the batteries, then go at it in the new year. So that's where I'm up to with my shows. Short answer is, I'm not even fucking thinking about it. So, one question I got asked, oh you're asking it, aren't you? That'll make the edit. Put on the bloopers for this video. So, as I said before, I got asked some good questions on Instagram. A few of them were, what's obviously your next goal when it comes to competing? I've pretty much already answered them, so I'm not going to go through any of them. So, sorry guys, thank you for asking, but I pretty much covered it in the earlier part of the video. One thing that got asked by my sports massage therapist who I see a couple times a week, he was said, well, didn't ask, he just said, speak about the time that you were that down, you were literally looking forward to the session, but just to speak to me. And this is such a good insight. Prep is a lonely place, like really lonely. It's a very selfish sport, bodybuilding. I've learned that myself, as I said before, like a lot of people suffer. It isn't just me, and my girlfriend suffers, my family, things like that. But you are alone throughout all of it, because obviously when you're going out for your walks on your own, when you train, you're on your own, you're dieting on your own, you're going through all the hard bits and the suffering on your own. So the vast majority of the time, I've got the luxury, obviously because I work as a one-to-one PT and an online coach as well, where I just completely stopped one-to-one PTing and just completely got all my money from online coaching for those few weeks, which is obviously a good luxury because I can mould everything around prep. But one thing that did was halted any human interaction I had except for seeing my girlfriend, and obviously she goes to work, and for the other 12 hours of the day, I'm at home. So it got to the stage where it's not good for brain health to be on your own, it really isn't, but it's also not good when you're malnourished, you're overworked, your output's like stupidly high, your mind's stressed, your body's stressed. So it got to the stage where I'd just be at home getting, sounds so dramatic, just getting upset, like starting to feel down about myself. So I remember, I think it was about 4 days before the competition, my sports massage therapist come down, I think it was 6:30 or something like that. And I was counting down the minutes for him to come. When he come through the door, it's like I was greeting someone else. I was like, oh my God, I'm glad you're here. And he's like, what's up with you? Like, are you in pain or something? I was like, no, I'm just so glad to speak to someone. And it actually is exactly how I felt. Just wanted to speak to someone, because when you're going through so much on your own, sometimes you just need that conversation, just need that arm around you, just need that little bit of support, or sometimes just a conversation. So I always say, like, it is so selfish, but it's also so lonely, because although other people are kind of experiencing it, it's you that's going through all the suffering. So that is a bit of an insight where like you can get to the stage where you're in that dark of a place because you're just putting yourself through so much turmoil and so much like trouble to get to that condition, that literally a conversation with your sports science therapist is something you actually look forward to. So yeah, it's a lonely place, it's difficult, and that's the harsh reality of it. Just in time, the squirrel was just about to fucking jump me. So obviously I spoke about the competing side of things and the competitions and stuff. It's not even in my thought process at the moment, like any targets to do with that. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it's business minded, a lot of it's personal stuff. I've got a lot of personal stuff going on behind the scenes at the moment that I kind of want to rectify. Sorry mate, should I start it again? You've been absolutely stung there, haven't you? Just in case anyone's wondering why I said should we start again, Chris has just nearly stepped in a load of shit, so Pan into it, Chris, lad, so people know I'm not fucking joking. My target for 2022 is mainly business minded, business goals, things like that. Obviously, I feel like I'm established enough now in the online coaching market where enough people know me. I've got a lot of clients. I've got pretty much 50 clients now that are active. I've got 30 clients a week in terms of like one-to-one PT sessions as well. Very established now, I feel, and well, not very established, there's obviously a lot more established people than me, but considering where I was a couple of years ago compared to now, I feel like I'm a lot more established than what I was. So now it's literally just running with that momentum. When things go good, a lot of people take the foot off the gas. I think that's the time to start, keep going. You've got momentum. It's like a steam train, just keep moving forward. So the main goal is get everything sorted in terms of like my personal life and stuff, things going on behind the scenes. I've got some things I'd like to tweak myself, which I'll speak about on Instagram and stuff. I've got a few posts about that coming up, so you can get to know a little bit more about me rather than just me the coach, me the competitor, and more business minded stuff. So literally just aiming to get more clients, aiming to upscale my business, provide better service, things like that. Those are the main steps for 2022, just to make myself much more professional and just take my business and my life to the next level. So that's pretty much it. So first of all, we chose a fucking brilliant day to do this, as you can tell. Glasses are steaming up, raining, chose the wrong time, but hopefully you found this an insightful episode into where I'm up to personally and in terms of my goals and things like that as well. I'll be back with a lot more YouTube content coming. I'm going to think of a few different angles for me to hit it with, but if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon, and I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching.